Hey guys, look what I made. So, this is my arrangement of the Indonesian traditional song Bungong Jeumpa, which originated from Aceh, arranged for a standard four-voice choir. I'm now going to explain what I did to make this arrangement, giving advice on the way to make a good choral arrangement. For the first few bars, I started off by trying to make a mysterious, natural vibe by incorporating onomatopoeias in the lyrics. As you can see on screen, the lyrics of the bass, dum dum, are emulating the sound of the traditional percussive instrument, bendrang, from Aceh. The sound of the wind is being emulated with sha by the sopranos with maybe a little bit of a breathier voice. I admit I struggle to find a sound to emulate the rabab, but I guess na with a more nasally tone would make sense. Moving on, I've decided to use the homophonic texture in the majority of the song, but still, I've decided to incorporate polyphony in the song to create a call and response kind of thing, where one voice would sing the melody in time and another voice, or all the other active voices, sing the previous melody a little later. This technique is very prevalent in my arrangement. I have to say, this is my favorite technique because of how fun it is to write and how beautiful it can sound. I also like shining the spotlight on the individual voices, as you can see in the examples here, using both dynamics and texture to illustrate the effect better. I've also used multiple techniques to make a single phrase. For example, in this phrase, I decided to use polyphony amongst voices and use the call and response effect. The sopranos take the melody, and the altos harmonize with them in the same rhythm overall. In the last bar in this example, the tenors and basses are in the same rhythm, being the echo. The next few bars are a clearer image of what I'm trying to explain. If you've noticed anything that I haven't pointed out in words, each voice has a clear direction leading toward the end. Sometimes the line goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it's a curve. The overall direction is clear. Oh, another technique I'd like to point out is that within a line, passing motion can be used. It can give you opportunities to incorporate chords that aren't in the original song. Here's an example. See how I have a chromatic bass line in the second bar? Where the A sharp is, I added the F sharp major chord, which isn't in the original song. I basically reharmonized the song and gave it new chords thanks to the chromatic passing motion that I used, and also other kinds of passing motion like neighboring. Remember when I said I played around with textures? Here, let me show you. This one is homophonic, with sopranos taking the melody and the other voices making a tango-like rhythm. This one is another example of the call and response echo effect. Here I let the sopranos take the melody and let the rest of the voices create a percussive effect. This one is homophonic. Oh, this one's cool because it sounds like a chant. Also homophonic, but what sets it apart is that the sopranos, tenors, and basses sing the exact same note. It's a mix of homophonic and monophonic textures, giving a really cool, sacred vibe. And this one is cool because it's the unison of all voices, starting with just sopranos and tenors. Since we're approaching the end of the song, unison can give a sense of power and importance. It's ear-catching because it only happens once. It's only for one bar before I break the voices into chords again. Oh, and here, a plagal cadence to make an ear-catching ending. Yeah, and that wraps it up for my arrangement and how you can write an interesting choral arrangement. Oh, and do remember the rules. Make sure the arrangement is dominated by imperfect consonants and no parallel fifths, or octaves, or parallel fifth consonants. Oh, and you can also play around with other techniques as well as cadences. Not all songs need to end in plagal cadence to make it sound interesting. Not all minor songs need to end in major chords to make it interesting. You can play around with your own style, you can play around with your own personality. Just, keep the rules in mind. Yeah, that's all for me. Thanks for watching.